Again, my name is Randy Jones. I'm the Vice President of Sales here at eThink Education. To all the attendees, you are on mute. So if you have background noise or anything else going on in your office, no problem. You're not disturbing anybody. If you've been on our webinars before, one thing you've probably heard me or one of my colleagues say is our best webinars are truly our most interactive webinars. So as we're waiting for people to join us here, if you could find the questions pane in the GoToWebinar control panel and just tell us hi, where you're calling in from, maybe specifically something about 3.6 that you're excited about. Let's just start interacting here as we find some folks trickling in still to this session today. Folks from all over the world already. I did review the registration lists, and it is quite a varied list of both where folks will be logging in from, as well as your level of Moodle experience. So I see Denmark and Kentucky and Salt Lake City and Oregon and Iowa City, and we had South Africa. We had nearly 350 registrations for this webinar. So greatly appreciate everybody joining us and the marketing efforts, both by the eThink team as well as Moodle HQ. The Netherlands, Wisconsin, Ohio, Denver, Virginia. We've got quite a few folks. I know both eThink clients and some other Moodlers that we've spoken with here over the last few years. All right, so we're 2 minutes in. I think I'm going to go ahead and get us kicked off for New Year, new Moodle improvements in 3.6. I'm always excited for these sessions when we can come on and let the community know what Moodle headquarters is doing and how we as partners can help affect and impact what the releases look like as we go to 3.6, 3.7. We try to give as much feedback to headquarters as possible regarding what our clients are looking for in new versions of Moodle. And today you'll have the opportunity to hear really from the engine that runs eThink. Hopefully our clients on the line will agree when I say this. The eThink services team is the best in the industry. I'm biased, I understand that, but there's some data here I'll share with you, I think, that will back that statement up. So today you'll hear from 4 of our client care analysts, and I'll say, or just ask you to say a quick hello. Kat, I appreciate you joining us today.
Sorry, double muted. Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you, Kat. And Daniel, I appreciate you joining us as well. Oh, I think we've got everybody double muted here. Well, I'll let you know. Yeah, there we are.
I wasn't. So hi, everybody. Glad to have you aboard.
And Vanessa, aka Super V, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Randy. You know, it's the best part of my day. And I just wanted to say hi to some of the clients that I know I've talked to about joining us. I'm really glad to see you here.
Great. And Winnie, really appreciate you joining us as well.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everybody.
And today we're lucky enough to have a guest star, a guest presenter. You'll be hearing here in maybe about 10 minutes, maybe less, from Garnett Berry, who's our primary contact as a Moodle partner with Moodle headquarters. Garnett, we really appreciate your time today. Thanks for jumping on. I know it's late out your way.
Yeah, no problem. It's great to be part, and hello from grey Dublin.
It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Okay. So quick agenda. I know we have some clients on here and some folks that we've spoken with in the past, but I will give you a quick overview of what we do here at eThink. Why are we qualified to hold this type of session? So I'll get through that rather quickly so we can get to the meat here. We'll talk with Garnett in regards to the importance of working with a Moodle partner. And then our team will jump right in from there to the improvements in 3.6 that we wanted to chat about. So we'll try to get right to the meat as quickly as possible. Again, if there's any questions that come up during the session, please don't hesitate. We'll try to answer them as we're going along here if we have the opportunity to do so in the normal flow of the conversation. Otherwise, we'll try to get to them at least at the end of the session. So first, the basics. Most everybody on the call is already utilizing Moodle. I did see there's some of you who are using competing solutions that are here looking at Moodle. Thank you for joining us. Moodle is the most widely used LMS in the world, right? I looked yesterday. My old slide said 137 million. I looked yesterday, Moodle up to 144 million learners worldwide. Key here is it's open source, right? It is freely available. But that last bullet point is probably the most important one here on this slide, is that it's best to be deployed by experts. You've probably heard the famous Moodle line, right? Free like a beer, not like a puppy. If I hand you a beer and you drink it, it's gone. If I hand you a puppy, wow, well, now you've got a lot of training to do for that puppy. And you truly need to be an expert. It's not something that a typical IT generalist could download Moodle and jump right in. Our staff here at eThink, as I mentioned, we have some of the best Moodle experts in the world, which really is a real advantage of working with our team. And what we are, we're a certified Moodle partner, which means a few things. It means a percentage of our revenue goes back to Moodle headquarters to continue to develop the product to make it better in versions 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, and beyond. It also means that we have direct access to headquarters. Great example, Garnett joining us today. And as I mentioned, if our clients are saying to us, it would be great if Moodle could do X, if Moodle could do Z, we could then take that we're learning from our client base through the direct connections we have with headquarters and let headquarters know, here's what we're hearing. Hopefully this helps. Is there any chance we can add this feature, add this functionality in an upcoming release? We provide a bit of a different service model than I think is typical in the Moodle market. We provide what we call a fully managed Moodle experience. What that simply means is that we like to think of ourselves as the extension of your team responsible for your Moodle solution. We're really high touch. I saw some stats recently on an internal meeting that our first response time was, I believe it was under 35 minutes or something like that in our most recent stats. So when a support ticket comes in, we're quick to answer. And then on top of that, the fully managed piece is that we'd like to try to get in there and make whatever change for you. If you're requesting a change, an update, a plugin to be installed, our team is really proactive, really hands-on. And again, we become the extension of your team responsible for those things. So we do all of the hosting, a really detailed implementation process that our new clients go through that includes a discovery process that we've worked really hard to hone throughout the years. What we're trying to do is make sure that your Moodle learning environment meets your unique needs. Every site we run is different. And I'm not just talking the branding, but the theme, the configuration, what our organizations who work with us are looking to accomplish varies from client to client. And during the implementation process, we take that very serious. And we also work on those integrations for our higher ed clients and prospects on the line right now. Our student information system, real-time integration, is the best in the industry. We're an official Moodle partner, but our integration is agnostic across all student information systems. Both of our founders came from Moodle, so their knowledge of back-end databases has really helped us in developing that real-time SIS integration. And even with third-party modules, one of the main strengths of Moodle, obviously the M in Moodle stands for modular, is the third-party tools that can be integrated into the solution. And we install and configure those at no additional cost. So true integration expertise, and then consulting. If you've been to EDUCAUSE or DevLearn or Learning Tech out in London or ATD, any of these huge conferences, there's so many learning tools on the market right now. It can be truly overwhelming as you try to build out your best e-learning ecosystem. And our team can really be an asset to you there. If you were to come to us and say, I'm reviewing streaming video solutions, I'm reviewing proctoring solutions, what do you recommend here? What do you recommend there? We're really open to providing that sort of feedback and making sure that you're building out the perfect ecosystem for your learning needs. All right. Quick update. If you haven't seen our mission statement, I believe this is about 14 months old now. This is DevLearn 2017, where we took the entire team out to DevLearn and we had a company retreat. And we wanted to make sure that our mission statement reflected our daily goals here at eThink. And I think that last piece is truly the most important piece, our obsession with customer success. I'll say it a bunch of times here today. Our success as an organization is solely due to the hard work of our services organization. And one thing that we like to acknowledge, and that is a true advantage to Moodle users, is that there are multiple hosting options for Moodle. eThink is not the only Moodle partner in the US or around the world. I'm sure Garnett's going to give you an update on the number of Moodle partners worldwide. And what that does is it really keeps us honest, right? We can't have a price point that's exorbitant and much higher than the market. And we need to maintain the highest level of quality on the market because our clients, and we're open, we're pretty honest about it. If we don't provide that highest level of service, they can evaluate other Moodle options. But I truly feel, and again, there's some bias here, that eThink is the best probably in the world at providing Moodle services. And here's some stats to sort of back that up, because that's easy for me to say. And these stats are just from the last 4 years. If you're running Moodle on another site, whether it be with a competitor or self-hosted, we've migrated 174 other Moodle environments to our eThink Moodle environment in about the last 4 years. So we have a tremendous amount of experience there, and 174 different organizations running Moodle, again, through a different environment, decided to make the switch to eThink. And here's the number of clients we've lost to Moodle Partners. And this is in our 11 years of business. And this is my favorite slide and the easiest slide I've ever made here in my time with eThink. 0. We've never lost a client to another Moodle partner. So 174 on the way in and 0 out the door. Again, solely based on the level of service that we provide. And that has led here to that 99% client retention rate over 11 years of business. So that's who we are as an organization, what we do. With that said, I do want to get into the meat of it. So Garnett, I'm going to go ahead and make you the presenter, and you can chat with our audience a little bit more about the importance of working with a Moodle partner.
Sure, thanks, Randy. I'm just going to open this up and put this into presentation mode.
And I'll confirm I do see your screen there.
Okay, perfect. So basically what I wanted to do was introduce myself. I work with Moodle HQ. The main office of Moodle HQ is over in Perth, but we've got offices in Barcelona. I'm based in Dublin, Ireland. We've got colleagues kind of all over the world. And my role at Moodle HQ is working with the Moodle Partner Network. And so what I wanted to do to talk to you guys about today was just give a little bit of a highlight, extend some of the conversation what Randy spoke about as far as being a Moodle partner, but also kind of reinforcing how important the Moodle partner is to Moodle HQ and why we have them, basically. So basically, we've got a traditional Moodle partner. They provide certified Moodle services. eThink is one of these Moodle partners. And I'll kind of go into a bit more detail as far as what some of those services are. Randy's already spoken about some of those. We also have, oops, sorry, it kind of popped out on me there.
Yeah, I'm not in presentation mode right now, Garnett, just so you know. I had a little bit of feedback here for you.
Is that okay? No.
No,
Stop sharing.
yeah.
Show there. Is that okay?
I still see your slides on the left. I don't think it's much of a trouble though. But
Hang on, let me go to main screen. Try this.
there we are.
Better?
That looks great.
Beautiful.
Apologies, that was I keep messing this up, I think. Is that all right?
That's perfect.
I won't touch anything anymore. Sorry. So basically, I was talking about the different kinds of Moodle partners we have. So we have the traditional Moodle partner that provide Moodle services on the left, and we also have integration partners, which are kind of new to Moodle. And these are basically other products that integrate with Moodle. So, for example, reporting systems like IntelliBoard. It could be a virtual classroom tool like Big Blue Button. We've also added a new one called Bongo, which is an assessment tool, a video assessment tool that is a great way of extending some of the kind of social learning within Moodle, and other tools like ePortfolios and whatnot. That basically functionality that Moodle HQ is never going to develop for Moodle. And these are just products that extend the functionality that you as customers need in your learning ecosystem. So we work with those two types of partners. I'm primarily going to be talking about the Moodle partners such as eThink that provide services. We've got approximately 85 different partnerships across the globe in about 45 different countries. So it's quite an extensive network that we have, and the nice thing about this is we've got partners, all across the globe that are in different regions that speak local languages, and they basically represent Moodle in the market. I just want to do a little bit of introduction to the Moodle partner story and how they came about. So if we kind of look at this as Moodle, the big orange M as Moodle as a product was started around 2002 by Martin Dougiamis. And shortly after creating the product, he realized that he wanted to kind of, he needed a bit more help. So he started getting some people around and hiring some people to kind of help him along, and formed a company called Moodle HQ. And shortly after that, there was, they've been developing Moodle since the start of that 2002 when the release 1.0 started out. And then shortly after that, and only maybe a year or so after that, as it was an open source project, Martin needed some more help. He wasn't focusing on offering services, he was just focusing on developing the product Moodle. So the Moodle partners came along and they started to deliver services and charging for those. And that provided some funding in the form of royalties. So basically, anytime you spend money with one of the Moodle partners, such as eThink, some of that money comes back to Moodle HQ. And in brief, if we take Moodle partners out of that, out of this picture, there is no Moodle or Moodle HQ going forward. These three organizations or three bubbles kind of rely on each other. The product needs HQ and it needs Moodle partners, and the Moodle partners need the product to be able to go out and sell things. So these three nodes or bubbles, Moodle HQ, Moodle partners, and the product rely on each other. And if we just kind of fill this in as far as that, there's more to it than just the development and royalties. Moodle HQ provides some support and marketing to the partners, and the Moodle partners also provide things like translations and bug fix to Moodle, the product, as well. This has been said, but I think it's worth kind of restating, is that working with a Moodle partner means that you're really working with the Moodle project itself, and you have a direct connection with Moodle HQ because there's that open dialogue. You're supporting the development of the project financially. This helps maintain the project with ongoing releases, improvements, and fixes. I think it's worth noting that there are a number of organizations that work that sell Moodle services that are not affiliated with us. And the key thing here is that those organizations are not helping the ongoing development of the project, and that's a big piece of that. Yeah, the reliance that we have on our Moodle partners to help this project keep going forward. So what Moodle partners provide? If we start on the left, they provide the local services. Whether that's in the U.S. and they're kind of across the road or in a different state. In some cases, the language is an issue. So if you're in Spain or in Mexico, you want to have a partner that can help with those local languages. So that's a big part for us. They provide marketing support. They go to conferences. They represent Moodle in the marketplace with their websites and go to conferences talking about Moodle, which is really helpful. We talked about the funding, the royalties, which is a crucial part. And I think another part that was mentioned earlier is the community aspect. They represent Moodle in not just on services, but helping people, whether that's on Moodle.org or just being part of that Moodle community, going to Moodle Moots and conferences and whatnot, is a big part of what they bring to the table as well. I'm not going to go through each of these, but these are a range of services, whether that's at the top left from hosting and support. These are the main services that our partners provide. Not every partner provides every one of these services, but I know that eThink has got quite a comprehensive list of services and do most of these themselves. And lastly, the way to find out whether they're an official Moodle partner, certified partner by Moodle HQ or not, is if they carry the logo. So we've got on the top, there's the kind of our I'll call our older logo. We just came up with some new logos in the last few days. The ones that are underneath, the orange and the darker gray or black. So that I've included those because going forward, once the eThink team and the other Moodle partners have time to get everything changed over, they'll be looking to use those new ones. But yeah, the Moodle logo helps identify, and if you go to conferences, you'll see on their stands that they'll be representing that on their websites. So if you're not sure, you can always reach out to Moodle HQ and ask, or just keep an eye out for that. Happy to take any questions from anyone if there are, or if you want, you can follow up with me. That's my email, garnet@moodle.com. And if you want to look for a little bit more information about Moodle Partners, you can go to moodle.com/partners. And that's basically all I wanted to introduce today.
Great. Hey, Garnet, I really appreciate it. I know it's late out your way, but you're always a great asset for us, and I appreciate you taking some time with us today.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
All right. Now we'll move over and begin to discuss some of the new features in 3.6 that I know everybody's really excited about. We're going to kick off with Kat here. Kat, I've made you the presenter, and I'll confirm I do see your screen there.
Great, and can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Excellent. So hi everyone, I am going to demonstrate the new features in the dashboard in Moodle 3.6. The dashboard was designed obviously as the place where users can customize their learning experience by organizing their courses and calendar events and communication, etc. But in Moodle 3.6, the dashboard has been completely overhauled and is finally becoming everything that I had ever hoped it could be. And so I'm really excited to show it to you today. Let's get this to come on in. There we go. So one of the main questions that our clients often ask is, how can I control the list of courses on my dashboard? It just seems to be this random hodgepodge of course list, and it kind of frustrates a lot of people. So the course overview block, the first feature I'm going to show you, has some exciting new features that allow users to filter and sort in a little bit of a different way than before. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the new filter list. Now, we used to be able to see the in progress, future, and past. These were tabs across the top. They've changed this now to a filter list, and they've added a few new filter options, and those include starred and hidden courses. And what are those, you might ask? Well, I'm going to show you. So if we take one of the course cards here, there's a little submenu, and you can star a course to add it as a favorite. Or you can hide a course if it's something you think you no longer need. And then you can come back over here and you can filter down to one of these options. If, for example, you realize you hit a course that you actually still need, you can go back and show it, and it will populate back on your main courses screen as well. They also have a new sort option. Obviously, we can see them sorted by their course name. We can now also sort them by the last time you accessed a course. So those are a few new options there. We also have some new views. I think we're all familiar with this card view where you have a little picture and the course title. They used to have a circle to show the completion tracking. I like the straight line a little bit better. I think it's a little bit cleaner, but it also works well with the two new views. And one of those views is a list, which is just a very simple, clean list. And the other is a summary, which includes the summary that you would put in your course if you use that summary piece. Some of the courses you'll see don't have them, but if they have them, they're there. I also want to just take a quick minute to touch on the course start and end dates and completion tracking and how they affect where the courses appear on this list, because it is a question we often get from a lot of our clients, especially with regards to why is my course now in the past when I'm not finished with it or it has not ended yet. So I have two examples here. So the first example is a course that perhaps the end date was open-ended and or the course has an end date that's set to the future, yet the course has some sort of completion tracking that includes maybe completing certain activities and or receiving a certain grade, and therefore Moodle will perceive it as now in the past, so it will show up on your past list. And the other example, which we get more often than not, is that I have not completed all of my activities, so why is it showing in my past? And that might be because the course date has ended even if you didn't complete all of those activities. And then the last feature on the course overview is down here at the bottom. It's you can now choose how many courses you want to display on your course overview, anywhere from 12 to 48, which I think is a great feature. We previously had to set this in the site defaults, but this gives the user a little more control over how many courses they want on their screen. The dashboard also has some new blocks that we haven't seen before. One of them is the timeline. Now, the timeline used to be part of the course overview block, but it has separated out, which I actually really like because we can now look at our course overview and our activities that are due all at the same time on one screen. You can still filter by dates and courses like we used to before, but you can now also streamline down to look at assignments that are due in the next 7 days, up to the next 6 months, or that are simply overdue, or you can look at all of them together. If you look at them all together and your list gets extremely long, you can also streamline down from anywhere to 5 to 25 activities all on this one block. A couple of other new blocks that I think are worth mentioning are the starred courses. Remember I showed you that you could add courses to a favorites list. We now have a block just for that. We have a block for recently accessed courses, showing courses that you've recently been in and had activity in, as well as recently accessed items. Those are activities that you have recently touched as well. And one last note is just to remember that you can, as always, customize your page with a simple drag and drop to allow your dashboard to look how is most convenient for you. Hopefully this, there we go. So it's pretty quick to customize it in a way that you really like. And so with all these great new features to customize your learning experience, I think this is probably my most favorite new feature in Moodle 3.6. And that is all I have.
Excellent. Kat, as
Thank you,
always,
Randy.
great job. We really appreciate it. And to the audience, tons of great questions. Know that we're trying to keep up, and we are answering privately to most of these questions. Some of them we'll answer to everybody if we think it might be something the entire audience might have a similar question. But just know that we are trying to keep up the best we can with questions. Please do keep them coming. That said, Daniel, I'm going to go ahead and make you the new presenter. And
Hello, everybody.
I do see
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right. Well, let me just prelude by saying, Randy, you're entirely right. It's definitely exciting to be a Moodler these days.
Yeah.
So I'll be demoing the new assignment feedback features introduced in Moodle 3.6. We're currently logged in as a teacher viewing a sample course, Biology 101. And so I'm just going to scroll down and going to select a sample assignment. It's 1 minute paper, week 3. And then I'm going to click on View All Submissions to see all the student submissions. And then as you can see here, we have about 5 students in our course. 2 of them have made submissions. One of those submissions has been graded already, this one at the top. And so I'm going to come down here to Sage Student, and I'm going to grade Sage's submission. So as in previous versions of Moodle, we do have, and we continue to have, the Annotate option with these tools across the top. They are a variety of tools. We can leave comments. And we can also add the comments to a quick list so that we can have them available for later. We can highlight text. Oh, sorry. Should be highlighting. Oh. There we go. Sorry about that. We can highlight text. Scribble, add in lines, boxes, circles, anything that you need. And then if you're an admin, you can also leave some stamps. So basically that's with the Annotate options. As I mentioned, those were previously available in Moodle and continue to be. Also available in previous versions were the feedback comments as well as the grading option. The feedback comments were limited, however, to text, ordered lists, unordered lists, hyperlinks, and then all the formatting features that you see here. But what was available but somewhat limited was the insert or edit image, which you could insert an image, but like it was limited to online URLs. You couldn't choose a repository and upload an image from your computer. So now with Moodle 3.6, a whole new variety of new feedback options have been introduced. And one of those is the ability to insert an image from your computer. So let me start with that. We'll just click on insert an image here. And as you can see, the old option, enter URL, is there. But in addition to that, we have the browse repositories. So let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. I'm just going to browse a repository. I'm going to choose upload a file. And then I'm just going to choose my file from my computer and upload it. So as you can see here, there's the file. And you have some additional options here. We can leave a description or not. And then we can adjust, we can adjust the size of our image. And then we can align it any way we want. So let's just go ahead and click Save Image. And there we go. There's the image. In addition to the images, we have an Insert or Edit Audio and Video File button now, this is very exciting. With this, we have 3 options. We can link to a media file or a file on the internet, or we can browse repositories to retrieve them from our computer or in the cloud, like we did with the image file. For demo purposes, let me just, I'm going to pick a website and I'll show you what that looks like. And so I have here a common website that we all love to go to. And then I'm going to put that in here. And let's go ahead and just add a name. And insert the media. And so there you have the link to the website right there. Now let's continue and let's go to the video tab. So with the video tab, it allows us to select videos from the internet, from your local computer. I'm going to select, well, let's continue. Well, a lot of us use YouTube as a repository of videos. So let's pick YouTube. And I already have one here, a great video about the overview of cell structure. And since this is a bio class, I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there. And with the video option, we do have additional configuration options here at the bottom. Display options, we can enter a title, we can adjust the size of our video, and even introduce or put in a thumbnail URL. In addition to that, we have some advanced settings here, show controls, play automatically, if you wanted muted or looped. And then finally, we have some subtitle and caption options, whether you want to include subtitles, captions, descriptions, chapters, or metadata. Okay, so let me back up here. Let me just quickly close these options. And we'll go ahead and insert this media. As you can see, there is our YouTube video. And then the last option here with insert media is an audio file. And so since we've already added a video file from the internet, let me add an audio file from my computer. So I'm going to click on Browse Repository. And quickly while I'm here, I've been uploading a file from my computer, and invariably this is always going to be an option for you. But depending on how your Moodle is configured, you may have some additional options here in the file picker. Common options that do need to be configured, though, are Google Drive and Google OneDrive. So that basically you can click there and log into your Google Drive and pick a file and put it into Moodle. So we just choose a file here, and I'm going to select my audio file. Open it, upload this file. And just like with an audio video file, you do have some options, display options. You can enter title, the flow controls there, and then some subtitles and captions if you want. So let's just insert, and there we go. There's our audio file. Now we have something that's new, also new, is the Manage Files button. So basically what this lets you do is manage these were the files that that we have uploaded. And so it allows you to manage these files. So you can click on a file, download it, change the name, the author, what kind of license that you want, and then you can update it. So you can also, oops, gotta get that out of the way. You can also upload files this way by dragging and dropping them in there. So it's taking a little bit of time to upload. Okay, so there you go. So let's continue on. The next new feature, which is very exciting, is Moodle's now has the ability to record an audio directly in Moodle. So what you can do is just click here and away you go. Start recording. Of course, note that you'll probably need to allow the microphone in your web browser before this works. As if when we get to recording the video, you'll want to allow the camera as well. So you'll see that both are allowed, and then I'll just start recording. You leave your audio feedback, testing, 1, 2, 3, and then when you're finished, you stop recording and attach the file. There's our file right there. And note that you may have seen there that there is a 2-minute limit when recording audios, as there is a 2-minute limit when recording videos. But don't worry, it's an amazing amount of time to leave feedback, and I don't think you'll run out of space or time. So let's now do the record video option. And so for this, I'm going to go public for you. And there you are. I am here. You see me. That's the video. And then, again, you attach the recording. And you have it down here at the bottom. Okay? So basically, that is the new features, the new feedback features for Moodle introduced by Moodle 3.6. Thank you, everybody.
Excellent, excellent. Much appreciated, Daniel. I know it's late out in your end of the world as well, so we appreciate you being with us here today. And next, we're going to kick it over, Vanessa, off to you. I'll go ahead and make you the presenter now.
All right, thanks, Randy. Everything looking good? You can see my screen with the user tour actually displayed in the center?
Perfect.
All right, all right. So I have the pleasure today of talking about group messaging. So I thought that I would start with the user tour because I think it offers you a nice little snapshot. But I'll start off by saying that not only has Moodle 3.6 introduced the group messaging capability, but the messaging interface also looks a bit different. So I wanted to preface by saying that for those of you who use messaging heavily, or your end users do, I think you're going to find the changes here very helpful for organization. It's nice and clean display. So I'm starting off with the user tour that is built in at the course level. This tour is available by default, but just like other user tours, it can be disabled should you want to do so. All right, so the messaging icon is still located in the menu bar as it was in previous versions. Should you have messages to read, you'll see an indication of that here. Once you click into the messaging icon, you'll see the new display. It pops directly down the right-hand side of the page now, whereas in previous versions, it displayed more towards the center and downwards. And for those of you who are familiar with Moodle, you probably noticed this as soon as I clicked into the messages. If you're a member of a group, you'll see that displays under the group message section. That basically allows for you to interact privately with other members of your group. Starred messages are another option here. These are basically messages you want to find easily. You can pin them, kind of reminds me a little bit of what we can do with forum posts so that they remain sort of front and center. And then lastly, you maintain the option to set preferences for your messages. New options here are privacy settings, where you can determine basically who messages you. All right, so kind of short and sweet, but hits all the high notes there. I did just mention that there's options to set those preferences for your messages. Basically, this is another focus on protecting privacy, which we see as a continued theme in newer versions of Moodle. Moodle 3.6 gives users greater control over who can message them, essentially. Let me go ahead and move my webinar panel out of the way so I can get to this setting. There's a gear icon sort of towards the far right of my screen. This is where you'll find those privacy settings. Essentially, what's allowed here is you can determine who can message you. So that could be only your contacts. It can also be those that you've determined as your contacts and anyone that's also a participant in your course. And you can also leave it open to anyone across the site. All right, so that's basically the new interface itself. But I wanted to talk now about the idea of group messaging in general and how to make use of that in your course. So in order for your users to have that area functioning in their interface, messaging interface, we need to have groups set up at the course level. So in order to get to that space, I'm going to go into my course administration menu, essentially through my gear icon. And under the Users tab, we have the option for groups. So you have to start by setting them up within the course. And as you can see in our demo course, there's quite a few here. There's actually only 2 that I've put any users into. And for today's demo, I'm going to work with Group A. So I'll go ahead and open up the settings for that group. And this will be the same process you follow if you're going to allow for messaging within groups for your courses. And what you're going to find within the settings is that right under the enrollment key, there's a new option for group messaging. And you'll have to determine whether or not that's going to be something users can take advantage of. If it is something you want them to be using, just set it to yes. You can also turn it off if you select no. So essentially, it'll be as straightforward as that for you as the instructor, indicating that within your groups, yes, they can use the group messaging feature. On the flip side of things, I wanted to show you what this looks like for a true user. So in Group A, I had enrolled Joe student. So this is Joe's view. I'm logged in as Joe in another window. And so if I click into Joe's messaging interface, you can see that Group A from our English course is listed under Group Messages. And earlier, just sort of prepping for this, I sent a message to the other participant in that course, just checking in about group work. And so you can see that that's going to remain underneath the group messaging. Again, the ideal here is that we're using the group messaging as a private space to interact with people about topics that are specific to that group. So it gives us a little more control. In that user tour as well, I mentioned that there's an ability to star a message. And so if that's something that interests you, the way you'll do that is once you click into the message itself, there are these 3 horizontal little circles at the top, and there's an option there to star. So if you do that, what you'll notice is that a star appeared sort of to the right-hand side of the group name. And then also when you go back to the overall interface, that message has moved into the starred section. So it takes itself out of group messaging and it aligns itself with your starred messages so as to remain sort of pinned there front and center for you. The other thing you can do, should you need to check to see what other participants are in the group, is if you click the group name, you can pull out other participants should that be something that you needed to reference. So some pretty exciting things going on here, and one thing that always makes me happy is that it's pretty straightforward and easy to do. So not only is there new functionality, but it's not cumbersome to work with, and it offers a lot of advantages to users. So that's all I have. I think that means we're over to Winnie.
Sounds good. Super V, always appreciate your enthusiasm, your energy.
You know it. Thanks, Randy.
Winnie, over to you.
Alrighty. Okay, and you guys are seeing my full display, not the presentation view, correct?
That's right. Yep.
Alrighty, great. So just to start, I'll go over the changes that were made in the Moodle 3.6 Quiz Statistics report, and then I'll do a brief overview of the report itself for anyone who's not as familiar. So looking at what's changed in this report, the main difference is in efforts to simplify and improve accessibility to the analytics of the quiz module, the changes to the report focus specifically on the response statistics of randomized questions. So instructors can now view response statistics for questions deployed from the randomized pool, regardless of the total number, whereas previous versions offered a limited information upon initial viewing of the report. We'll take a look at some examples and compare. In the previous version, you'll see here, this is what would display in a quiz with 9 or greater randomized questions. You can see in number 14, there are 3 questions below it that offer some statistical data to review. But you see that question 14 remains as random with the list of the category and subcategories associated. So rather than having a view of all questions included, we only get to really see a select view that Moodle has auto-generated in this report. In the new version, what you now see in this report is you'll get the random question placeholder, but you'll also have a range of statistics offered in an additional row. And you'll have a link that is called View Details. Clicking on the View Details link shown here, you can view the structural analysis of all the randomized questions rather than a few select questions that Moodle has offered in the previous version. So I'll take a look at that really quickly. So here we have number 14. This is the position the question is in. It'll remain static that way to display the position, and then beneath it, you'll have a list of the questions themselves. You actually get a view on which specific questions and which data is specifically associated with that question. For example, you'll see that the number of attempts, how many students attempted the question, the facility index, the percentage of the correct answers that were submitted, the random guess score, the score that the student would get by guessing randomly. There are intended and effective weight categories as well. Some of this gets a little more technical, but you can basically use this to whatever extent you wish. And you'll also see the discrimination index, the correlation of the score for the question versus the whole quiz. So it's a good idea to gauge how students are doing overall, not just with a specific question, but how it balances out with the remainder of the information contained in those questions. And to overview the report, for those of you who aren't as familiar, basically what this report will do is it's going to provide the analysis of the quiz and the questions it contains. So you can find this report by entering into the quiz activity itself, looking through the quiz administration menu, accessible through the gear icon at the top right corner. And in the drop-down menu under results, you'll just want to click on statistics. The top section of this report, quiz information, is a table that will basically give you a summary of the activity on a whole. You can view the information shown in the fields here. You've got the quiz name, the course name that the quiz is contained within, the number of completed attempts. There's a whole range of data here, but it's essentially an overview. This can also be downloaded as a CSV, Excel file for further assessment outside of Moodle if you want to look at that data. And the following section beneath that is the quiz structure analysis. And this table displays all the questions in the quiz with links to edit the questions. You can also dig deeper into the detailed analysis. You can click on the question name for the static question types, which are essentially non-randomized questions. The green arrow pointing to question number 1 is a static question. So in there, you can click on that link, and you'll see the difference in the view of the randomized question is there's not a link here because you'll find the view details link at the very bottom of the randomized question selection. So the last randomized question will contain the link that I had shown in the previous slide. And so when you dig deeper into these questions, so we've clicked, for example, if you clicked into question number 1 up there, the static question, what you would see is a basic, overview of the test name, the quiz, the name of the quiz, the name of the question, the type of question it is, the question itself, and the position that it's been placed into. And further into that, the question statistics will essentially repeat the same information that you've seen in the quiz structure analysis, although these will relate specifically to the question themselves rather than the quiz. So you have your attempts, your facility index, percentage of correct answers, random guess score, and discrimination index. And the final piece of the report that you'll view is a graph of these statistics for the question positions. So the positions are set by default by Moodle when using a randomized question. So this will give you an overview of the facility index and discrimination index of any user who's answered it correctly or incorrectly and how it varies amongst the score of the quiz on a whole. I think I blazed through that pretty quickly. That's pretty much all of what's different. Essentially, the difference for the quiz is that the randomized questions are now offered in an overview with a direct link rather than showing a brief summary, whereas previous versions of the report encapsulated about 3 or so questions for any quiz that contained larger than 9 of randomized questions.
Great. Hey, perfect, Winnie. I really appreciate you joining us here today.
Yep, thank you so much.
All right. We're coming up on the end of our time, just about 5 minutes left. Let me wrap us up. I did just put in the chat, please let me know to make sure that you can see it, a link to our next webinar where we'll explore the power of an LRS through XAPI of the Learning Record Store. Certainly a huge trend that we see is the collection of data via XAPI into the LRS. So definitely love to have you join us there if you are available. It is right there in the chat, the link. All right, here is my contact information. If you're not an eThink client and you'd like to learn more, we could certainly schedule some time to chat or even a demonstration if you'd like. Feel free to reach out to me. Our team will be reaching out proactively to you to send you the link to the session. Any feedback you may have is always appreciated. 2 questions I've seen that I'd like to address to the audience. One was specific in regards to content, in that do we create or provide bespoke content or even canned off-the-shelf type content? And we have a great partner network that we work with right now. So what we would do if a client or prospect of ours was looking for content, we'd learn what they're looking for, really what their budget is, and then pair them up with this network of partners that we have truly worldwide that both develop content and or provide off-the-shelf content. So we could certainly be a resource for you there. Hopefully that clears up that question. And when I was talking about the migration experience that we have from other Moodle hosts and vendors, we did get the question about what is that process like? How does that happen? And a Moodle to Moodle migration is the most straightforward migration that we do. It's truly 2 folders, 2 data folders that get moved over here to the eThink environment. We do typically ask for an 8-week implementation window. During that window, we do that discovery that I mentioned earlier, where we're looking to learn what you want to accomplish with your site. Can we make it more user-friendly? Should we update the theme? Should we get you over to 3.6 because maybe you're lagging behind in versioning? There's a lot of other really hands-on things that we could do to improve your site during that migration process. So feel free to reach out to me if there are any other questions. And I know questions are still coming in. Kudos to our team here at eThink, Kat, Daniel, Vanessa, Winnie, for keeping up with all the questions today and for providing such a great presentation. We've got about 3 minutes left of time. On the eThink side, are there any other questions that you think we should address to the audience, or do you think that we've answered them all sufficiently here in the questions pane?
I think I just got to the last one that was outstanding a second ago. So that all looks good to go for me. I wanted to personally thank Garnett for being here, so I'll say that aloud. Thank you so much. It made this webinar different and exciting for me than some of the other ones that I've been a part of, so thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, I'll second that. Garnett, buddy, you're always a lot of fun to work with. We appreciate your hard work up there in HQ.
Thanks, guys. Great presentation. You made the latest release look really great, and yeah, thanks for all your work.
Perfect.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, a big thank you also to the audience. We'll be here again for Moodle 3.7 when that time comes. So look out for that invitation. Hope you can join us then. And I see a bunch of thank yous coming in. We really do appreciate you joining us. These are always fun sessions to host. Have a great day. Thanks all.
Thanks, Randy. Bye-bye.